Good afternoon and welcome everybody, friends of Hong Kong. I'm not a very good speaker like Miss C, so I need some visual aid. I have a PowerPoint, okay. Mark Lui changes. Why changes? Changes because when I heard you say the movie industry is actually growing, but our music industry, Cantonese music industry is dropping. So as a musician and also an entertainer, and we have to think of way to change, the way we do music. And for myself, not only making music, and I also, in addition, start my new career in designing. So okay, let's do some share. I'll try to be quick. Yep. Okay. Just a brief history of what I do. I started doing music in the late 90s, and I've been producing more than 1,000 pop songs, throughout these 20-something years. And yeah, I'm very proud of that because I work very hard, and I do help a lot of local artists to develop their career themselves, And also, I made a lot of soundtrack also. One of the soundtrack, Green Snake, is I was working with James and Miss C, one of my best work, and it's a classic movie. And also, I do have a pop band, for a few years, and we were not very successful because I'm a lousy singer. And I do have some, solo projects and stuff, and I produce a lot of Hong Kong concert. And most of our pop concert happens in the Hong Kong Coliseum. And but when music, the business model of pop music changes from like physical products like CDs or vinyl in the olden days to now, mainly is streaming, online streaming, because the market is so small in Cantonese music. The business model of making music, invest in making music and selling those music, actually, I can say it's totally dead. We cannot survive in that form, making music and sell the music that we make. So on the music side, we have to find another way to make money. One of the way is to, of course, to do live shows, but honestly, not many artists have the ability to hold a big, concert selling tickets. So now, most of the tickets selling artists are pretty old artists, not the newcomer, because when the market has no money, it's hard to promote them or make good music. And a lot of record company actually is stop making new songs, because when they see there's no direct revenue from making music, they stop making it. So from the record companies, mostly they will manage some, well-established artists and get the commission from managing them. That's the way to survive, for a music company. And for us, people usually, in Hong Kong, they hold concert in Coliseum. And actually, Coliseum is a bit small, actually. The capacity is about 10,000 audience. And the reason why our shows is the top selling artists, we always have like 20 shows, 30 shows in a row, is because the venue is very small. We have to do more shows to get more money. But for newcomers, they will not be able to hold so many shows. So it's quite difficult. So for some of my working partners, like Leon Lai, we start trying to hold a concert in different venues. Actually, I don't know what is it called. Ti Ma Lam in English is what? Oh, Chaima. Last year, Leon Lai held a concert there for 7 nights, and the reaction was very good. And so the coming year, next year in February, we're going to do another one. like that. It's a completely new show. And it's the first time we do a open air show with all standing audience. So it's something new. We try to bring in some new experience to the audience. And for myself, since the major labels are not making so much new music, I started an indie label, because for an indie label, all I invest is my time, my production costs, which I can afford. I don't need to pay anyone because I can do that. And nowadays, for sales channel of music, we don't need a big setup. We don't have physical products. All we do is to put a song to iTunes or platform like that, then we can sell a song. Of course, the royalty is really low. So for myself, as a musician, I do believe that we have to keep making Cantonese music as an art. So I signed some newcomers, singers that I think is talented, and I wish for the best. I try my best to make good music with the artist and to see how it goes. It's more like art than a business to me. So how do I make money? Okay. Okay. Actually, throughout my music career, actually, I do a lot of designing work. I was trained as a civil engineer in UK. So for like construction and stuff, I'm very interested in those things. I didn't study architecture because in the teenage time I have my rock and roll dreams, and I want to come back to Hong Kong and do my music. So I didn't go into that long education for architecture. And but yes, behind my music career, and I do a lot of interior designing for residents, shops, and gallery or anything. And I did have I like fashion a lot. I started my menswear label a few years back, but doing retail in Hong Kong is difficult, so it wasn't really successful. I closed down after 3 years. But I was proud of my work, in designing and manufacturing my own label. So 2 years ago, when our music business, starts to shrink, I have more time to explore my other passions. I have a lot of passions. Painting is one of my passions. So I start painting. I start painting, and my friend, he's the owner of K11, and Adrian, he always want to promote local artists. He saw my painting and say, okay, why don't you do an exhibition in K11? So, okay, why not? It's good fun for me. So I make an exhibition, and I name it not about pop songs, because Mark Lui is always about pop songs. So I make an exhibition showing my other talents or other works, from painting to my maybe motorcycle design, my interior design, and fashion design and stuff. And surprisingly, it really surprised me is when some Hong Kong brands, some Hong Kong manufacturer saw the exhibition, they start asking me to design for them. And last year, I had my TDC licensing show, and Mr. Yip is in the picture. He was sitting on my chair, the chair that I designed, and there's another exhibition. So from the two exhibitions, I started doing a lot of designing for local brands. One of a very good watch brand, Memorigen, is totally from Hong Kong. And he asked me to design my series of watches. So they were making watches in I can say it's like Swiss-made quality watches, tourbillon watches. And what I try to do is I want to put my original design, my original taste in making a watch that it's from Hong Kong, but with international taste in it. So we make my first one is the time machine. I call it a time machine, and sales were very good. And it sold out in a very short period of time of a limited edition of 200 pieces. And this coming year, we make another one. I call it the bourbon because it's in the shape of a barrel. I call it bourbon. And because the success of the time machine, we make a diamond one. I call it the precious time machine. And then another Hong Kong brand, Aaron Shum Jewelry. 2 years ago, it was the first year that he started having a booth in Basel, Hall 1, which is it's the first time for a Hong Kong jewelry brand to display in Basel Hall 1. And the owner wanted a showpiece that can shock the world. So he asked me, to design a piece that is more like out of the box, not from a normal jewelry designer point of view. So he asked me as a musician to design a piece, and we picked a guitar. We want to do a jewelry guitar, and and I designed that. And also I make the collaboration with a very famous American guitar brand, Gibson. So it became like an official release of this diamond guitar. And at the end, it got the most valuable guitar from the Guinness Book of Record. And in the Basel show, it did attract a lot of publicity. And because the endorsement of Gibson, it also traveled, the guitar traveled around the world, and it has a very global exposure. And also other international brands, asked me to collaborate with them, like Philips. We designed a little turntable, NSB, we did some T-shirts and guitars and stuff. And Harley Davidson, because I'm a biker, I love designing bikes. And last year when they start a new dealership in Hong Kong, which is more like directly owned by Harley Davidson America. So he asked me to make a show bike, that represent Hong Kong, And some other international jewelry brand. This is Chanticleer from Capri, Italy. We made a collaboration. And for this is a very major release for Memorition, the coming Star Wars movies. We have a series of Star Wars watches. And we were so proud that actually George Lucas dropped us an email line and saying he likes the design very much. And this will be my coming project. Is also working with K11 Arts Foundation. And they start making brands with local artists or designers. Hong Kong actually have a lot of talented people in designing or in art, but it's hard for them to produce products or start a brand. And K11 will be collaborating with these artists. I'm one of them. So we'll be producing accessory brand. We'll be launching in coming December. And I have another work. My other passion is photography. So I will be releasing a book. I call it Stylish Hong Kong. I want to take pictures of all the places, good places or shops in Hong Kong to try to promote our very unique and very high quality lifestyle. And this is actually reflect what I think about what Hong Kong should do right now. We have been manufacturing for other brands. We're doing a lot of OEM, ODM. But actually, we have been consuming, we have been consuming the best products around the world. But why couldn't we start our own? So I really believe in in Hong Kong, we should start making our own brand, very high quality brand, to try to sell to the world, and that's what I'm thinking. So yeah, that's my sharing.
Thanks so much, Mark.
Thank you.